Okay, starting out. I'm on the trail that I hiked before when I was doing Algonquin and Iroquois. And that brings us to a turning point where either you go up to Gonk or you turn toward Marcy Dam and you go that way toward Mount Marcy. So if I make a wrong turn this time, it means I'm climbing Marcy, which I am not doing today because then it would be cold and dark and below freezing and I ain't prepared for that. So we're going to make the correct turn toward Phelps today and get to the top. It's a little past peak all the way up here, but the woods are still beautiful. Everything's going from like orange to burnt orange, brown. You can kind of see behind me there's some like brilliant yellow from the birch trees. It's still gorgeous, but there's a lot of bare sticks too. You see that? So not quite peak. I caught it peak about 2 weeks ago, and now we're turning past peak into stick season, as they say in Vermont. This leaf has a heart-shaped hole in it. That's so cute. All right, I made it to the crossroads. See the sign behind me? There she is. So I'm going that way to Marcy Dam. But I wanted to stop and show you my stick. This is my walking stick that my grandpa gave me. And he made it. He carved himself all of the names of the mountains that he's climbed on it. And just last week, he gave it to me. And it's cool. He mounted a compass in the top. And then it's got this nice little like strap. I'm like obsessed with it. And so I'm going to carry it up this mountain and add another mountain to the stack. Thanks, Grandpa. I love this walking stick. It means so much to me. I just passed by 2 hikers making out in the middle of the trail. And they didn't see me at first, but then she saw me. And I went, "Aw, so cute." They laughed so hard. I don't think they were expecting anyone to come upon them. Just rip and face in the middle of the woods. But it was cute. People are in love in the woods. After 2 miles, I made it to Marcy Dam, or what was left of Marcy Dam after Irene took it out. You used to be able to walk right across the dam, but now there's a bridge that they built just down the way. It's still a really pretty spot, and there's a lot of lean-tos and camping sites around. Here's the bridge that they built so you can get across to the other side. I love a little woods bridge. All right, so here's where I make the turn. Wrong, this is not where I make the turn. If I were to go that way, I would go to Mount Marcy and Lake Colden and all that. But I am going to follow... Well, this is interesting. High water route to Phelps Mountain, but it also says Phelps this way. I think I'll check my map. Okay, yeah, so I looked at the map, and I think that I do want to keep going toward Marcy. And there's going to be a different turnoff that looks different than this, because this is like a T, and it says high water route, and it's not high water right now. It's like pretty low, actually. It hasn't rained too much. So I think I'm going to take this right toward Marcy, and then hopefully find the turnoff to Phelps in like a mile, maybe a mile and a half. Wish me luck. Right. Well, that didn't take long at all. 1 more mile to the top. I'm not missing the turn and going to Marcy. I'm going that way and doing Phelps. See, Dad? I didn't miss it. I'm going the right way. Okay, I made the turn, and now we're finally gaining some real elevation. Felt like the trail was like pretty tame up until now. And now we're starting to get at the spot where it actually is steep. Hot tip if you're hiking in the Adirondacks. If you can't find the trail, or you're confused about where the trail is, look for the rocks that are all scuffed up from people's hiking poles. That's where everyone has been, and that's where you need to go. I just passed by a couple hikers and I asked, am I almost at the top? And they said, a push and then you're there. But they said at the top, it's a view. So the sky cleared out, the sun is out, the sky's blue. It was cloudy earlier and now it's gorgeous. I can't wait to get to the top and see this view. Goddamn. I already cracked my compass. So I made it to the top in pretty good time, and it was so beautiful. I got to sit down and eat a snack. I had an apple, and I also had this packet of tuna. I really wanted something different than beef jerky, which I always have, but honestly it was really gross. And then I finished off with some M&Ms, which of course hit, because M&Ms always hit. I did it. 5 out of 46. I gotta say, this descent is a lot better than the Algonquin and Iroquois descent, because coming down from Algonquin, I was already in pain. Knee pain, hip pain, just all sorts of pains. And in this descent, I'm not really in pain. I feel pretty good. I mean, you get like the natural achy knee thing when you come down and do a lot of steps down like this. But that's just part of being 33 years old. This is nothing. This is easy. Knock on wood. There's plenty of wood around I can knock on. Knocked. Phelps Mountain, 1 mile. Longest mile I've ever done. When you're going straight up a mountain, a mile feels like it takes forever. Honestly, I would say that this is a pretty beginner level high peak. Like, the first 3 miles of the ascent are not that much of an elevation gain. You really only get into kind of the challenging and technical, slidey, steep parts in the last mile. The rest of it, especially this descent, is like really not bad. You're doing a little stepping down, but it's kind of mostly flat, which is nice for people who want like an entry-level high peak. I highly recommend Phelps. It's been a really beautiful hike, and like I said, only the last mile was really challenging, like a high peak would be in my mind. So, and the views at the top were pretty nice. Like, you can see Marcy just like right in front of you. It was so sick. I often go up faster than I go down, especially if I have a lot of daylight. So I took some time to sit at this little creek and meditate, waving at the people as they go by. The water was so cold, but I really couldn't resist getting my hands in there. Felt really good. And yeah, I always gotta put some on my third eye. Good mountain water is good for the third eye. Whoa! There's a helicopter like right at the dam. I gotta get over there. It looks like they're unloading something. Like the trail kids have got a bunch of wood they're unloading from the helicopter or something. That must be what that is. Unloading firewood as quickly as they possibly can. Right here by the dam. There's the dam. That's wild. Oh, I see. They're also loading out maybe a bunch of stuff in the helicopter. Plastic bags, maybe trash or scraps or something. There's like 9 or 10 people plus a bunch of crap in that helicopter. How big is that helicopter? They just keep going in. It's like a clown car. How often do you get to see a helicopter load up with like 10 people in the middle of the woods and take off? That was so cool. Hi. What are you doing? You can come over here. I just don't want you like to climb on me. Hi. And get down low. Like this? What do you think? My goodness, you're so bold. Feel energized, refreshed, renewed. All the things you're supposed to feel after hiking up a mountain. So, thanks for watching. Bye. Okay, hear me out. So, it was a movie, and it's just like Brokeback Mountain, except that the two guys are guys that are stationed at the beacons that go from Gondor to Rohan. When Aragorn's like, the beacons are lit, the beacons are lit. Gondor calls for aid. And Theoden's like, Rohan will answer. I was thinking like, what do those guys do? They just sit up there, there's probably just two of them, and they probably have shifts, right? And they like sit and they just like watch to see when the beacons are lit, because someone's gotta light those beacons. And then it'd be like Brokeback Mountain. And it'd be like hot and gay. But it would be in Middle Earth. I think it's a good idea.